Hello, welcome in everyone. Yes, we are doing dramatic metal music tonight. That is the theme in preparation for Hell Let Loose. I hope everyone's having a fantastic Saturday. It looks like Laughing Underwater is here. Hello, welcome to the stream. How are you? Felon, I hope you have a good drive tomorrow. Go get some sleep. You're going to need it. 13 hours is a very long time. Make sure you drink a lot of coffee before you go and during your trip. It'll probably make you pee, but anyways, good luck. And we have Rando, hello, welcome to the stream. Max, hello Max, how are you doing? How's it going? J-Ski, hello J-Ski, welcome in. Oh yeah, I was having trouble turning my turning a camera on. I know, not very challenging. I was trying to turn my GoPro on and it was just not connecting, and so I was just power cycling it a few times. That's all. That's the extent of technical problems. I was mostly just late. So that is why we are starting at 9 tonight instead of 8:30. It's technically supposed to be 8, but we're here at 8:30. We are going to be making some espresso tonight. We are going to be using the beans I'm super excited to use, which I mentioned in my other stream. And then we're going to be playing some Hell Let Loose after making espresso. So it should be a fun time. Was a great Saturday. It was a great Saturday. Rando, are you saying it's no longer a great Saturday? What happened? You're like, shoot, Calf is streaming. It's no longer a great Saturday. Damn it. I'm going to go stick my face in a pillow and cry. That sounds about right. I would do that too. Roman, hello, Roman. Welcome to the stream. How are you? You're not going to believe what I've seen in my neighborhood for the first time today. Did you see a small cat? I don't know where I was going with that. What did you see in your neighborhood that for the first time? Children? I don't know. 11 p.m. it's still a great Saturday. Yes, you still have some of your Saturday left. So I'm gonna switch over to the coffee cam, and we're gonna be making some espressos. Let's see. Okay, this is my blinding light. There we go. Now you guys can see my setup. So if you're new here, we are going to be using the Flair tonight, which is possibly, in my opinion, the best and most affordable espresso maker. I am not sponsored by Flair. Flair people, if you are listening, I'm gonna have to hunt you down and make you sponsor me because I love this thing. So we are gonna be making some espresso with some of our Goji Highlands. I'm probably saying this wrong. Goji? I think a goji berry or goji berry beans from Verve. I'm gonna open them tonight. I'm very excited. I pre-opened them actually because I was worried that I would not be able to open the bag on stream. This has happened before. It's very embarrassing. I don't know if you guys have ever had the experience where you go to like a Starbucks or something and you ask them to open a bag of beans for you so they can pre-grind it, and then the barista's sitting there like trying to open the freaking bag and it's not opening. It's very, very embarrassing. I mean, that's what scissors are for, but sometimes scissors aren't around. But so anyways, we are going to be making some coffee. Thanks, laughing. It wasn't a cat or children, but you've seen deer? Wait, you've never seen deer in your neighborhood before? That's interesting. Maybe there's, I think it's maybe too early to say there's a drought, but usually when there's a drought, you start seeing some really weird animals in the more populated places. Last summer, well, first of all, deer are really cool. You should give them a salt lick. Deer really like salt. But last summer, we were having a major drought, and we had a bunch of coyotes coming into our neighborhood. And the coyotes, they were just, like, walking down the sidewalk in the middle of a big city. I was scared for them, but they knew how to dodge cars. That was the crazy thing. They were very good at dodging cars. Super Suit, hello! Welcome to the stream. Welcome in. By the way, guys, if the background music is a little bit too off-putting in the right now. We're gonna just switch to a little bit of jazz, and we'll switch back to the metal music later when we're doing some shooting things. I think that's more appropriate. Okay. All right. So we are going to be using this single origin Ethiopian coffee. This was actually on sale. I never, ever buy coffee full price. I mean, technically, even when it's on sale, it's still very expensive. But this was $12 for 12 ounces of light roast coffee, single origin from East Africa. So I think this is like Ethiopian, maybe. I don't know. My geography is very poor. The tasting notes are blackberry cobbler, pine, and some raw sugar. And let's see, this is a seasonal blend, so it's not always available. This is from Verve Coffee, which is a Santa Cruz based coffee roastery. If you guys live near Santa Cruz, I highly recommend going to Verve. They are a very nice cafe. I've been a couple times and I really enjoyed my experience there. Yeah, so we are going to make our own espresso though. So we're going to just go ahead and start with measuring things out. So today we are using this. I have some of the components heating up in the background, so I'm going to be kind of letting them just do their thing back here. Oh, happy Memorial. That's what's happening this weekend. Happy Memorial Day weekend. This is true. So what are you guys doing for Memorial Day? Does everyone have it off, or is anyone unfortunately working? Santa Cruz is Santa Cruz bougie? I feel like Santa Cruz is more of like a hippie town. You know, you go there and it's totally fine if you walk barefoot down the street. Just like don't let anybody take pictures of your toes. That would be weird. I mean, yeah, I feel like Santa Cruz, they have their bougie spots, but they're also very, very chill and vibey. There's also another great coffee place that I love in Santa Cruz. It's called Cat and Cloud. And it's a fun, cute little cafe. And they make really good espresso. I also recommend checking that out if you're ever in the location. Okay, so we're going to start by measuring out 18 grams of beans. All right. Let's hope I don't spill them. I've been spilling a lot of things lately. You guys, yesterday, I feel like I'm still a little bit hungover from yesterday. I had quite the experience. I don't normally socialize with other adult people, or actually any people, actually. I'm just a hermit that lives in their house. But yes, I was socializing, and of course, there's always like social drinking, and poor little calf overdid herself. And I drank too much, so I'm slightly hungover. So if I spill things and act weird, that's why. So we have our 18 grams of beans. They're very delicious. The Milo is underneath my desk right now. Maybe we'll pull some Milo out. I'm not mixing it in my espresso this time. It makes it very bitter tasting. We're going to grind these up in our little hand grinder that we have here. So some people might ask, is it really worth having a hand grinder, especially one that this one is by Onesie Presso. And I'm going to be honest, if you're like grinding your beans in like one of those blade grinders with the little like blade that spins around, you're doing it wrong. Blade grinders are great and all if you're making pour over coffee, but if you are trying to make espresso, you should invest in a good grinder. Now this grinder cost $180. It's very expensive, but it was a good investment because my espresso went from meh to amazing. Also, Billy669, welcome in. I hope you are doing well. Thank you for that follow. I appreciate you. Are you a coffee drinker? What kind of espresso do you like? Oh, I cannot read that writing. All right. Well, anywho, welcome. I will just pretend I know. Is that Arabic? I don't know what that is. All right. So we're going to go ahead and grind our beans up. All right, hang on. Let me get the grinder ASMR going. From meh to amazing. No, it's actually it was very amazing. Okay, my espresso is now super sub tier, like sub tier, no, super tier, super tier amazing. Where are the drunk Insta reels? Okay, JC, this is one thing I've learned in the many years that I've lived on this earth is that you should never post drunk Insta reels. It'll just come back to bite you. So there are no drunk Insta reels. Fortunately for everyone. If you want to see slightly drunk singing, there is a video that I have put on the Discord, and you can watch that. It's actually not that embarrassing. I mean, it is embarrassing, but it's not like the kind of embarrassing you would expect. It's more like cringe, actually. It is indeed peace, mercy, and blessings of God be upon you, woman. Is that what it means? I don't know. So we have ground our coffee beans to a pretty fine. So if you're trying to replicate the level of fineness that I have done, it's actually very hard. You have to be using the same grinder, but it's basically 50 clicks on a onesie presso grinder. This is irrelevant to most people. It's basically just super fine. So there you go. It looks like some dust in a cup, not very exciting. We're going to go ahead and pour this into our heated portafilter, which is where the espresso grounds go. And then we're going to tamp it down and get ready to pull our shot. Nobody plans to post drunk Insta reels. It's not. Of course not. I did think about posting something. I was in that kind of mood where you're like, oh man, I should totally post something on social media right now. And the most I did was send a picture of my drinks to you guys on Discord, and that was about it. No videos. Billy, you are a coffee addict. What kind of coffee do you like to consume? So here is our portafilter. It is all dried out. You should absolutely dry your portafilter before putting in the dried coffee grounds, and this is to prevent clumping. Now, I've heard of people who just go ahead and they pour their coffee grounds into a wet portafilter, and then they're like, oh, why is my coffee coming out in weird channels and whatever? It's because they did not dry out the portafilter first. So it's nice, dry, beautiful. We can now input the grounds. All right. We do have a little bit of retention in our burrs. You can see a lot of the coffee stays behind. You can use a toothbrush or a paintbrush to flick that out if you want. I don't really bother because I'm lazy. It doesn't impact your coffee too much, so you don't need to worry about it. We are then going to declump our grounds. So you can see very, very clumpy, just dumping it straight in. So we need to just kind of loosen it up a little bit. Now, obviously, you don't see people doing this in a cafe because it does take an extra step and it takes time. And so if you have a standard espresso machine that isn't a lever machine like this, you can get away without doing this whole declumping step because the machine is a little bit more tolerant of any inconsistencies in the coffee bed. But when I'm using this lever machine, I've noticed it's very sensitive to any patches of maybe overpacked coffee grounds, and so we have to really make it as even as possible, and that's why I do all of this extra crap. So we're gonna tap it down, and then we're gonna use our fancy little coffee leveler. This is a fun toy. So this is actually extremely heavy. It's a great murder weapon. I'm not recommending that you use it for that, of course, but it's very heavy. But the reason for it is because it's a tamper. So on one side you have the tamper, and on this side you have these fun little fins. And what it does is it kind of levels out the coffee bed here. So we're going to just spin this around. Now this is again something super extra. You totally don't need this for your making your espresso, but it does help a little bit. So I always use it. So see, it's nice and smooth. It looks nice. It's very satisfying. So now we're going to go ahead and just tamp. And this is where you need to like stand up and actually apply about 30 pounds of pressure straight down. Don't rock back and forth. You will screw up your coffee if you do that. So give me 1 second. You drink Egyptian coffees. What kind of coffee is the Egyptian coffee? Is it like Turkish coffee where it's very finely ground coffee that's kind of boiled with a little bit of sugar in it, or what is that like? No, Dari, welcome in. Welcome to the stream. How are you? You hate coffee. I never drink, but for you I will drink a whole bowl. No, don't kill yourself with the coffee. You don't have to do that. I think coffee's amazing. I think everyone should drink it at least once. Psycho Deadman, welcome in. You fell from the ceiling. Yeah, actually, no, there's no dead bodies in my ceiling, if that's what we're referring to. So I have put a little screen on top of my espresso grounds, and this is to kind of protect the nice little coffee bed that I just made. And now I'm going to get ready to do the shot. Oh, I need to reheat my water. Okay, I'm gonna move my other coffee camera or other camera down so you guys can see the shot come out as I pull it. It's always very exciting. So I like to use this tiny little espresso cup. It's very cute. It's actually double walled so you don't burn yourself by touching the glass when the hot liquid goes into it. I also like to use a little scale to measure out 45 grams of espresso, just to keep my ratios the same every time. Nodari, thank you for that follow. I appreciate that. So my usual ratio for espresso is 18 grams of coffee grounds or coffee beans to 45 grams of liquid out. And this has been a pretty nice ratio. I kind of came up with this after a lot of trial and error. I made like this whole, okay, this is a little nerdy. I made a whole Excel sheet where I tested a whole bunch of different like roasts of coffee, and then also different like, I made little changes to like the grind size, the amount of water, the amount of grams of coffee that I was putting in, the amount of grams I was pulling out. And so this is kind of like the optimized ratio that I have found works for me. Everyone has their own different, maybe preference for what they want their espresso to taste like. But for me, this is what works. So, Billy, you like coffee, 80% coffee, 20% milk, and cream on top with no sugar. Ooh, the cream on top is nice. Is it like a little frothed cream? What kind of cream is that? All right, so now our brew head is heated, so we're going to go ahead and put that on top. The brew head is what stores the hot water. I know this looks super bare bones, but it'll make sense in a minute. And let me try to get a better angle for you guys. Let's see, can you kind of see that? Maybe. It's maybe not the greatest angle. I'll figure it out. All right, so our brew head is piping hot. It's 85 degrees Celsius. We have a temperature strip here. This is also one of the other things I had to optimize, because if you make espresso in a cold brew head, your espresso will not always turn out the same and it'll taste not great. And this is because the brewing or the temperature of the water really matters and impacts the brew that you're trying to make. And so it's good to try to keep the temperature consistent. So I always try to heat my brew head to 85 degrees Celsius, and then I pour super boiling water straight in. Of course, it cools off because it's sitting there for a little bit of time. But this works pretty well. All right. Zegron, hello Zegron. Also, if welcome in, Billy. I will do the hydrate. I actually have to go fetch more water, which I will do after I pull my shot. But thank you. I see you there. I see you. Okay, let's put our camera. Oops. Okay, I have some tangled wires going on. I have a very chaotic desk. Oops. Okay, I'll try to manually focus this. I think it doesn't like to focus. Oh, it kind of focuses. All right, let me expand the, let's make this bigger. And then let's move chat. Let's move chat just like out of the way here. Where's my chat box? This chat box. We'll just push you down here. There we go. All right, we are ready to pull the shot. It's coming. It's so beautiful. Okay, so I'm letting it pre-infuse for about 15 seconds, and this actually helps make the espresso sweeter sometimes. It depends on the beans. I've never done these beans before, so I don't know if the pre-infusion is going to make it yummy. But a lot of people will pre-infuse just to allow kind of like a little bloom time with their beans in hot water. Yes, this is Espresso. We are using, okay, I actually don't know if I'm using my biceps. I'm using some types of muscles in my arms, though. Maybe it's my triceps. It's like when, okay, we need to pull the shot. It looks so good. I'm so excited. All right, so we have our espresso. I think as I was pushing down, I was realizing that I most likely am engaging my triceps, not my biceps. So I might have clickbaited you guys. Oops. Let's put the camera back. Does that work? Is that okay? Okay. My wiring is super messed up. All right, so we have made our espresso using the goji berries, not the goji berries, the Guji Highlands single origin Ethiopian coffee. Again, tasting notes are blackberry, cobbler, pine, and raw sugar. So Usually, I've never actually tasted pine notes in my espresso, so we're gonna see what this actually tastes like. It's very important to stir your espresso before drinking it. I currently don't have a spoon. Dorothy is not here, but I do have my little keycap puller, so we're gonna just give it a little swirl, like the plebeian that I am, and we're gonna give it a sip. Just put that there. Ooh. You know what? Maybe it's because I know that, or they say that they're supposed to be pine, but I taste like wood. It tastes like wood. Hang on. Okay. So, it's very tangy. It's kind of like a little bit grapefruity, a little bit piney, maybe cedar. Maybe we have some spruce notes. I'm not sure. It's much like eating a pine needle. There is a little bit of sweetness, but mostly I'm getting kind of a little hint of bitterness at the end. You know those like old wooden drawers that you can store your clothes in? Imagine like licking the inside of that. I feel like that is what this espresso tastes like. But actually in a very nice and pleasant way. It's not gross. It's very good. It's very good. Ah, yes, spreadsheets. Stands up and dusts off. Tips hat. Who tips hats? Turkish coffee and Arabian coffee is popular here too. I see. What is the difference between Turkish coffee and Arabian coffee? Zygron, you're in voice chat with Kasinka, and she got to see Shatner today and got a photo with him. Wait, that's really cool. Like the William Shatner? Is that who it is? William Shatner? The guy who is on TV and stuff? That's very cool. I'm gonna have to go check out the photo. I bet she posted it in her Discord. You didn't miss the invocation of the coffee gods. I know. This is the ritual that we start every calf stream with. We make some sort of offering to the caffeine gods and then we drink it to appease them so they don't strike me down and force me to chug Folgers the rest of my life, because that would kill me. You got a hug and signed photo with Stephen Amell. Who's Stephen Amell? Don't push us. Cyanide. Hello, Cyanide. Welcome in. Faux espresso. What the heck, psycho? Wooden, slightly sweet, but overt bitterness. The espresso is me. Is that supposed to be the song lyric? Oh wait, you're trying to compare the espresso to yourself. I see. Okay, guys, here's a fun game. If you were a shot of espresso, what would be your tasting notes? Don't get weird, please. Don't get weird. For me, I think that if I was an espresso, I would have like slightly sweet crema on top. But then as you continue tasting, it's just bitter and burnt. That sounds so mean. Oh, Captain Kirk. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna pretend I knew that. Interesting. If I was a espresso shot, I might also have a little bit of I don't know, Fruit Loop flavor in it. Is that possible? Just add a little dose of Fruit Loops in there. Shatner's still alive. My assassins have failed. What if? I literally saw a billboard the other day with like Shatner's face on it, so I assumed he was alive still. Jayski, your espresso shot would be Milo. Milo is just like the most. It's interesting. It's like very barley flavored though, which I guess I should have expected, but I didn't. All right, so as I drink this, it is very sour again, but it's like not terrible. This is a light roast, so it's gonna be very tangy. If you guys are fans of more traditional espresso, you are probably thinking like the dark roasted coffee, like I don't know. The when basically, so if you are like buying beans and you're trying to figure out, is this bean light roasted or dark roasted? You can tell pretty quickly just by looking at the beans. So these are light roast. You can see right away that they're a very light brown color. Now, most coffee that people are familiar with are very dark black and they're shiny. And that is kind of an indication of a very over roasted coffee bean. Now, when coffee beans get very roasted, they start to release a lot of their oils, which gives them that shiny look. But if you're just doing a light roast, you're going to have this matte finish, if you want to think of it that way. And for me, I prefer the light to medium roasted coffees. I feel that when you start making espresso with dark roast coffee, it tastes you get a lot of the cigar notes, kind of the bitter, more kind of I just don't like... I don't know. I don't like dark roasted coffee. It's a little bit too cigar flavored for me. Psycho, you would be a sour, deeply unpleasant, somewhat sweet at times, but with a very sharp ending that leaves you regretting trying me. Oh, I feel you though. I would also be a shot like that. Zegron, your face is barley flavored. Jayski. You know what? It probably is because I was sniffing some Milo earlier, so I probably got some dust up there. Psycho, thank you for that follow. Welcome to the coffee cult. Zagron, your espresso would be pleasant, but loud and slightly unexpected. So we're getting maybe some like very bright citrusy notes, maybe like a punch to the face with grapefruit. That's what I'm expecting from you. Leb, hello Leb. Welcome. I'll give you a light roast. Your face is shiny. Oh, wait. Okay, actually, my face is shiny only because of my lighting. It's horrible. I have the worst lighting setup ever. I have a ring light, which I normally use, and then I have this extra light that fills this in, so you guys can kind of see what's going on my desk. Because otherwise, look at this. It's like very dark. So we just keep the filler light on. Lucy, hello, Lucy, welcome. We made an espresso today using a single origin Ethiopian coffee that is light roasted. So it's a very tangy, but also kind of, actually it tastes like wood. It's like tangy wood, but it's actually good. I feel like with most things, kind of like drinking beer or drinking wine, when you first take a sip of espresso, you might be shocked at how, I guess, I don't want to say it's repulsive at first. I think it depends, obviously, on what type of espresso you're drinking. But when I first tried espresso, I went to a very bougie coffee place, and I ordered the espresso. They gave me the espresso in a little cup with a little spoon on a little saucer. They also gave me a cute little cup of sparkling water, which I didn't know at the time. The sparkling water is to cleanse your palate. So what you do is you drink a little bit of the sparkling water, maybe before you drink the espresso and then in between sips, and then you try your coffee. You stir it, of course. You always stir the espresso first, because when espresso comes out, you have multiple layers. You kind of have the initial kind of, I don't want to say like the more like sandy stuff or like the super fine grounds that kind of settle at the bottom. Then you have like the medium layer, and then at the top you have the crema, which is composed of a lot of like oils and fats, and to me it tastes very good, but it's better to kind of mix the crema in. And so I took a sip of this espresso expecting something like amazing, right? And I was like, oh my god, it tastes like crap. It was very bitter. I shouldn't say it tasted like crap. It just tasted like maybe just it like hits you in the face kind of thing. And it was hard for me to enjoy. Since then, I kept trying espressos, and then I started to notice that there were differences in the types of espressos people made. And so when I started making espresso at home, I quickly realized that I like the espresso that comes from like a specific type of bean that's lighter. And yeah, I don't know. But if you guys, I just want to prepare you. If you go trying espresso, you might not like it at first, but you should give it a shot. It's like drinking beer or something. Mm. Oh, I need to go get some water. Hang on.